good morning or good evening, whatever the case may be. This is the 8th or 9th of May, 2024. This is late Wednesday, early Thursday morning. So that's where it is. I'm at tonight. So what are we looking at? We're looking at well, Strategy and Tactics magazine. What we're looking at, number 137. It was $12.50. This came out in 1990. The game with it is Men at Arms, Tactical Combat, 1200 BC to 1500 AD. All right, inside this issue, a complete simulation game by James Dunnigan and Albert A. Nofi. Yeah, and that's why we're looking at this. I guess the last games that Dunnigan did for SPI before leaving was that those three games, which are really reworked games. And then he wrote the Wargames Handbook in 80 and 81. He did like I said, the Adventure Gaming 3-game deal that, is a reworked 3 games. I think it's only one that's very original of those 3. The other one's a rework of the creature that ate Sheboygan. It's the monsters that ate New York, right? And he believes, and in 1982, TSR calls in on their marker for SPI, and they buy them out. They take over SPI, and they take over Strategy and Tactics until 1987 when 3W buys them, Worldwide Wargames buys them. That's who has it here. And later in that run, quite late in that run, Jim Dunnigan's going to come back in as editor of Strategy and Tactics. They're going to hire him, and he's going to put out a couple games in the Strategy and Tactics at that. Look, Strategy and Tactics has a long history. We're talking about, 58 years old at this point? Nearing 60 years old. It's lasted longer than Avalon Hill lasted or SPI lasted. It's just a lot of years of excellence. I know some of y'all don't see it that way. Y'all see Strategy and Tactics as kind of the games is kind of samey and so on. But they do some good things. And it's history is what they're selling, and I still enjoy Strategy and Tactics from time to time. The 1990, $12.50 for it, and so we want to look at it. But they brought Dunnigan back in, so Dunnigan has control over Strategy and Tactics once again, and he brings his core, really, the core group, his core group with him to help him on a couple of games that they produce at that time. The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, new strategy games from Avalon Hill. That's the New World. What is that? The New World? Republic of Rome? That's not a bad game. And wrestling. Wrestling ain't a bad game either, to be honest with you. I like wrestling games, man. So this... We're dealing with Men at Arms, Tactical Combat. Seems like a long time. This is the article. Let's read this article here. Not the article, but the blurb here. The widespread introduction of gunpowder weapons in the 1500s is seen as a watershed in military history. Absolutely is. Before guns, cannon would be included in that. Before guns, combat was up close and personal. While bows, slings, javelins were used, the key to combat success was shock action. The clash of troops wielding a variety of handheld weapons. Gunpowder began a trend that culminated in the 20th century with the majority of casualties being inflicted by unseen adversaries. Before warfare became so impersonalized, the principal combatants were the men at arms. Yeah, absolutely true. It's an amazing thing. It's up close and personal combat, whether it was, you were in the phalanx, the Greek phalanx, or what you were doing. It was up close and personal, and be quite honest with you, when gunpowder came in, gunpowder also raised casualty rates to ridiculous heights, right? Death rates especially. So yeah, there's an article on. Gosh, who wrote this? Was this written by Dunnigan? The other men at arms. This looks like a really good article. Development of weapons through the period 1500 BC. The bow was first used along with the already existing spear and club. Yes, chariot used by Egypt and Sumeria until about 400 AD. Yeah, when the Goths used them, the chariot was used in Asia even longer. Yes, it was. Wow. Okay, so you got a timeline of events there. That's interesting. I don't think I've ever read this article. The reason we're going over some strategy and tactics magazines is just because they've had a long run. I've got quite a few of them, and I like to pull out certain ones that were watershed moments. And there's two of them in this Jim Dunnigan run. It's this one with Men at Arms. It's the other one. We're going to talk about Arabian Nightmare. And I think Arabian Nightmare has been talked about a lot. So that was in 90 as well. So, but war elephant, friend or foe? That's a good question. War elephants were highly unpredictable. Highly unpredictable. Okay. A caltrop, Byzantine military system. The age of Charlemagne. Okay, cool. I have to read this probably after I get off here. But here's the scenarios. It's the Men at Arms is kind of a system game, right? It's a generic system game to where you can play again combat from 1200 BC to 1500 AD. But we got some scenarios. We got Kadesh, Marathon. Oh, wow, very cool. What's the later ones? Oh, gosh, you do have some really cool. Hastings, Battle of Hastings. 14th October, 1066. So you have some cool scenarios that they give you. Man, a bunch, actually. Special rules, okay. So, unit encounters and scenarios. Unit counters and scenarios. Okay, very cool. Kadesh, which, yeah. Blues, Egyptians, red, and Hittites. Perhaps, okay. Historical note. Totally worth looking at, maybe even worth playing. I don't know. I've had this. I don't know why I haven't played it other than I just wanted it because it's, it was that 3W run with Dunnigan, and again, most people will call me a Dunnigan sycophant, and I'll say that's probably true in war games. I agree with what he says a lot in war games, and I like his style in war game design. And but as far as other opinions, they're his. But I do like his ideas in war games, and always thought that he's made stinkers, he's made some bad ones, but he's also made some really good, innovative ones too. So I appreciate Jim Dunnigan. All right, Men at Arms. This is going to be the tour. Look at that. Wow, that's awesome. Okay, I can't keep looking at this. We'll be here all day. So these are the rules proper sequence of play. I'm repeating myself. After players select a scenario and choose their sides, each player sets up his units according to the instructions listed for that scenario. Okay, so we obviously have special units special rules per scenario, as you're going to have. Units are placed on the map sheet in accordance with the scenario. Yeah, obviously. Scenario instructions. All right, a game turn. Man-at-Arms is played in successive game turns, each consistent of 2 player turns. Each player turn is composed of a number of phases as detailed in the sequence of play. The player whose player turn is currently in progress is called the phase-in player. Okay. Initiative determination. All right. First player. Movement and rally phase. Cool. First player combat phase. Second player movement rally phase. Second player combat phase. Okay, cool. Pretty straightforward. Doesn't look very difficult. The one thing I would like, since this is going, ancient combat more, there is a little, more modern, but ancient combat more than anything else, I really would like to see them. The talk at the beginning, right? If we're going to have combat, what are we going to do? How are we going to do this when they're getting together? I'd like to see that, but that's just me. Terrain effects chart, cool, very nice. And then, okay, I was afraid that map was going to be, and then combat results table, leadership effects chart. All right, got all that. You got, looks like, and this looks like your map here. And the counters, they're just 3W counters, World War Games counters. Blue 4 and op 4, right? That's just it. That's all you got. But 3 numbers, movement, and defense and attack, I'm assuming. So, I'm fine with that. They're workable. Map, very generic, going to have to be to cover all those battles. Got several maps and turn record track. Okay, so once you get out and put this together, you're going to have quite a bit. All right. Modes of control. There's designer's notes on oh wow, man, look at all those scenarios. So, war wagons and blind generals, okay. Return of infantry off, okay. Yeah. The rest of it's just the rest of that article on combat and war games for sale. Always love this. Trail of the Fox. 30. When they're gone, they're gone. I'm sure they're gone by now. I love that. Some of those processes, though, even 1990 process, And there's Gamer's Guide, Men-at-Arms. Designer's Notes, Men-at-Arms. Hey, I don't think this is a bad. It gets real low ratings, and I'm not sure why on BGG, unless it's just not specific enough. I like a game like this. It'll give you a lot of different. You're looking at a particular, banging on a particular type of hand-to-hand combat, so you're covering it for. I like that idea. Maybe I will play it and see. But the book, mostly scenarios, and it's pretty much all about Men-at-Arms, with the exception of a few editor's notes and some advertisements. We're talking about most of it's being about the game itself, including the article. So, very cool, very neat. And again, I wanted to, like I said, this brings Jim Dunnigan back into war games for a short time. He's still around. I don't want to say it's his last stand, right? It's not his last stand because he's still, catch him on strategy page, and, talking about his views on politics and whatnot. So he's still around, and so is Al Nofi. Al Nofi is still around working with him, and the other one, Austin Bay, who designed with him Arabian Nightmare, the other game that came from Worldwide War Games, which we may look at in the future, and it's worth a look too. Arabian Nightmare, I don't know if I have a pristine copy. I've actually played that. It's not a bad little game. And this one, I haven't played because I was afraid to, because it had such low ratings. But now, like reading it and looking over it, I kind of want to punch it and play. I kind of liked it. I kind of liked the time period. I kind of like everything to do with it. So, yeah, maybe I will get to it. Maybe I won't either, though. I've got so much other things to play too. But this is, again, Jim Dunnigan and his core people. This is what they're doing, and I think that that was very cool to him be back in War Games that short little period of time. And I've heard him talk about, he also also had access to the what do you call that? No, it wasn't an interview system. Man, that's the wrong word. It's the what people wanted to play, what people were playing. That card system, that mail system that Strategy and Tactics had. And I heard him talking about things, and he, found out a few things during that time too. So yeah, used that to find out a few things during that time too. So yeah, this is Dunnigans' last ride, man. And it was with Worldwide War Games, but it was with Strategy and Tactics. That is so apropos, as he pretty much popularized Strategy and Tactics. He did popularize it through SPI. All right, folks. Y'all have a great day. Y'all be careful out there. And, I've been playing a lot of games lately. I've been lucky to be able to play a lot of games lately, and so get some playing in, y'all, if you can. Just relaxes me. I feel so much better when I play a few. Sit down over a board and play some games with somebody, or even a solitaire game relaxes me. So I've been playing quite a bit. Played quite a bit of that Ottoman Sunset. Well, we may talk about a review there. Might surprise you. The review of the new Ottoman Sunset may surprise you. But yeah, well, I'll talk to you soon. Be careful and safe, and leave your comments. If you played this, if you want to play it, leave comments. What do you think about it? Talk to you later. Bye-bye.